Okay, and one more. Good. Okay, let's get started. Let's get started. We do it on a weekly basis. So first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from California, depending on where you are. I know we have people who join us from different parts, different time zones, so I appreciate it. Hopefully you have a good Friday. Shirt is not all ironed out. We do this session, or I do this session every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, California time. And the sole purpose of this session is actually to engage with you, talk about real estate investing, different aspects, different idea, mindset, concept, etc. Maybe have your questions come up. So the whole purpose is really to engage, to create, to content and knowledge and share with you all regarding real estate investing. I typically bring my own topic, and you are most welcome to participate with today's topic, but you are most welcome to send in your questions that are related to real estate investing, but even if they're not necessarily related to the topic, that's okay. I'll be happy to respond. If you're watching the recording, we are recording this in 3 formats: Facebook Live right here, YouTube Live right here, and we even have the podcast. We have a podcast that we streamline. You can join our podcast, no problem. By the way, we just launched another podcast in Hebrew, which is a different, different session. So if you are more of a Hebrew speaker and wanna, follow real estate investing, in Hebrew, by all means, you can download our podcast in Hebrew. I will try to put a link to it in a few minutes, so you can share. You can actually be able to follow that. We only have 5, 6, or 7 episodes at the moment, but I'm trying to upload at least once a week, if not more. I'm actually working on getting the link to it as we speak. Today's topic is actually, here we go. Oh, sorry about that. Share your podcast. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Hello, Ali. Good to see you, my friend. Hi, Raz. Good to see you as well. It's been a long time. Okay. So today's topic is, why do I love your job more than probably you do? All right. Maybe you love your job, so it'll be really love your job, so it'll be a tough competition. But the general concept is this: a lot of people either like their job or don't like their jobs, but one way or another they wish there was an alternative income or an additional income. Some even call it passive income coming into their life, and that they can either quit their job and stop working, or do something different. Well, I think it's for many of us, or all of us, that's definitely something we all aspire to. One way or another, the way I see it is this. See, even if I didn't have to work tomorrow, I would probably still be working, right? Just because I like doing it, I like working, I enjoy what I do. So for me, it's not just, the satisfaction or fulfillment is not just about, getting money or getting paid. It's about, personal fulfillment as well. But some of us would rather do something different. Some of us would rather work less, not being able, not be in a position where we have to put our job in the highest priority, or the top of the list, or maybe number 2, number 3 after our family and other things, and spend so much time there, obviously. And we would like to be in a position where something else is compensating us financially. Now, the reason I call it why I love your job more than you is because I've been doing real estate investing since 2002, and actually working with investors, doing it more of a professionally, not just for my own portfolio, since 2004. So that means since 2004, 15 years or so, I have been doing this. Hi, Tal, good to see you, my friend. I've been doing this, working with others, working for my own portfolio, working with others, helping them invest, change their financial standing. And every once in a while, I meet someone and say, you know what, Danny, I want to quit my job and start doing real estate full time, or I want to quit my job for one reason or another, do or do not do real estate. The problem with this, most times when I talk to someone, when they come up to me and say, hey, this is what we want to do, my first question to that person is, do you have a plan to do it? And not only if you have a plan, do you know the consequences when you talk about real estate and your job? You really understand how it can be beneficial for you to not quit your job. So let's talk about that for a second. So first of all, real estate can be a type of a passive income, right? How much real estate, how much passive income, how to go about it, that's a whole different conversation. And we're not going to dive into that, but just by saying real estate can be a passive income, we know it will be challenging or very difficult unless we have really good, financial starting point to go out and tomorrow buy X number of properties to supplement our income. If we're in that position, right, we may not be in a need to hold a job the same way we're holding it right now. So if you are someone saying, you know what, I would like to transition over time in the next 2, 5, whatever years to the point that something else is generating some sort of an income into my life. It could be more than one resource. It could be, I have an investor who actually decided to quit his job because between the real estate that he does plus the selling on Amazon, he says that generates more money than my job, and my job is just creating more stress in my life. So he decided to take a break. He may come back to work as an employee. He's being very courted by other companies to join them, but he's enjoying the position of just kind of thinking about what to do next, doing more real estate, doing more Amazon, and not going back to work, the traditional, job with an employer. He may still do that, but that will be his choice, not because he has to, because he wants to, or because he feels the right thing. But even to him, I told him, your job is actually something that can help you, at least when it comes to real estate. And this is why I love your job, for primarily 2 main reasons. Number one, if you want to transition, or if you want to start investing in real estate, and you want to, real estate to be part of your passive income flow, right? And you want to build it, and it's going to take some time. The first thing you probably need to acknowledge with your job is that when you have a steady job and you want to use mortgages, the lender loves you, right? If you come to a lender and you don't have the steady job, the lender doesn't want to lend you. Mortgage lenders, for the most part, want to qualify us or you, me, etc., as the borrower and what our financial strength in terms of repaying the loan. Okay, so the qualification is mostly on us, right? And if we don't have a job, that weakens our standing, financial standing. That it doesn't even matter if we have 800 credit score, it's still not good enough for the lender. The lender sees us as a risk. So in that situation, what you want to do is keep that job, because you will be more attractive to the lender, and the lender will be more likely to give you loans. Now, the fact that you're going to go to the lender while having a job and a year later, quit your job, doesn't matter to the lender anymore. It's, that's the way it is. They care at the moment of the qualification. So first of all, remember this, lenders love your job, right? Number one. Number two, right? Number two, job produces cash, brings cash into your life, right? So you have cash coming in. That cash is something you can use to save in order to, towards your down payment for the rent, for buying a rental property. And that cash is also something that helps you sustain your life or your livelihood, while the real estate is not producing, or producing minimally. When we buy rental properties with a mortgage, the cash flow with the mortgage after all expenses is not very high. We don't do it for the $200 a month in cash flow, which is nice, because that is not a significant impact financially. We do it for the long-term hold. What happened when the house is paid off? Then it turns to be $1,000 a month per property in cash flow. And the equity that we're building in that property in 10, 15 plus years, that's what we do. It's a long play. It's a long-term play. It's not a quick buck or a quick, get rich quick kind of a scheme. But we have to go through those years of minimal cash flow until rent goes up, creeps up over time, and until the equity builds up. That is really why we do it for the long term, a very powerful, slow mechanism. But in order to do that, we have to suffer through those years of going through the minimal cash flow per property until we accumulate more and more cash flow. And in that point, we can say, okay, now we have more cash flow, passive income coming into our life. We can now take that cash flow and say, that creates the foundation for us to pay, for housing, to pay for food, to pay for whatever we need. And we can, maybe even pay for everything, and we no longer need our job. Or we can shift and say, we no longer need that hectic job. We can actually settle for something else that is a little bit more relaxed, that it's a little more, less hours, that gives us a little more quality time with ourselves, our family, our friends, etc. So your job creates two very important things when it comes to real estate. Number one, you are attractive to lenders. Number two, you have cash coming into your life to sustain your lifestyle, and you have cash coming into your life so you can possibly, hopefully, save and put towards your next down payment for the next property, either number one, number two, etc. So your job is very beneficial, especially if you want to go in that direction of transitioning. If you want to transition out of your job into another job, into a part-time job, into not working at all, my question for you, what's your plan? How are you going to accomplish that? Real estate can help you accomplish that. Can you do it overnight? Probably not, unless you have a lot of money available and you can buy $1 million, $2, $3 million worth of real estate without mortgages in the next month or so. If that's your case, then this is easy. If you're not in that category, then you need to build that wealth. Building that wealth takes time. You can maybe start a little bit more aggressive and transition into your real estate in 2 or 5 years if you're a little bit more aggressive or fast. Doesn't have to be aggressive. Or you can take your time and maybe get to that point that maybe in 10 years from now. But at least you have an end game. At least you have an end point. You know what you want to go towards, and now you just need to make sure you have a good plan to getting there. So your job can help you get there. Think about it not as you working, but think about it as you have a job that fuels other things in your life, such as the real estate, such as buying, investing in other passive income methods. Real estate is one of them. I'm sure you are familiar with others. Even my client investor who owns multiple properties, who has a very successful store on Amazon and has real estate coming, funds coming in passively from real estate. Even this guy is thinking about going back and working because he knows he's more attractive to lenders. He knows he has a buying, it will give him the buying power to buy additional properties. So even in that case, and he's a young guy, he's not even 40 or just turning 40, and he says, you know what? I'm enjoying this right now, but I think I may just go back because I'm making quite a significant income from my job in the work that I'm doing, that it can actually fuel everything, for me and accelerate everything that I'm trying to accomplish. And I told him, listen, you can actually go, you're in a great position to go. My suggestion to him is find a job, but find a job that it's more relaxed. Find a job that will enable you to not work as hectically and not travel as much and be more at home. Maybe that means a compromise on the income, but look at what it gives you in return. More time with you, more quality time with your loved ones, and better position yourself with buying additional real estate. And he wants to buy. He already has multiple properties and he wants to buy additional properties, so it's something very realistic in his case. With that said, thank you for taking the time and joining me. If you have any questions, by all means, please put them as a comment and I will address them. I will take this time to just say that if you are not on our mailing list, you are missing on a few things. One is we send once a week handpicked list of properties. So you probably want to receive that if you are interested in getting and seeing the type of properties we're dealing with. Plus, we make announcements on events and webinars and different things and courses that we put, and we typically send them first of all by email, so you can actually get, and sometimes coupons and discounts and stuff like that. So if you're not on our mailing list and you're here, I would suggest you join our mailing list to be able to get this type of information. You just need to subscribe on the link that I've put on simplydoit.net, and you can just join the 14 plus videos that we have, which is free. You can always opt out, of course. So by all means, join us. If you have any questions regarding the topic, I will wait for another few good seconds. If you have questions that are not related to the topic but are related to real estate, by all means, I'll be happy to receive them as well. I'm going to wait here for a few more seconds. If you are listening to the recording, contact us. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Just because you're in the recording doesn't mean we cannot respond. So put a comment in the recording, send us an email, not a problem. We'll be happy to. Okay, very good. I don't see any questions today, which is fine. Thank you very much for taking the time. I want to wish everyone a happy rest of your day, a great weekend, and see you next week on another session about real estate investing. Bye-bye, everyone. Shabbat shalom.